Hey, everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. How's everybody doing today? It's so nice to see all your smiley faces. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Jim Masters, approaching something like 650 episodes we have done of our lifestyle travel series. I mean, we've taken you all over the place. We've taken you here, there, and everywhere. But of course, we come into your lives daily with this entertainment lifestyle talk show series, where we have a good time bringing back the lost art of conversation and style. And with our lovely audience who watches literally from all around the world, they comment live. Now, gang, if you want to comment live, or if you're watching for the first time, we invite you to do that. You can definitely do that. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the channel you're watching right now. That is Jim Masters TV. That's where we house all of these incredible episodes of our series. Just click that red button you see right there on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And make sure when you do click that, very important, you also click the notification bell. That's important, so you never miss any of the episodes we do live 7 days a week here, bringing you the entertainment, poignant conversations, and lots of levity in our famous JMS Levity as well. I see lots of comments coming in from our Levity Squad, the JMS Levity Squad, who watches all the time. They're the real, they're the faithful. They're here all the time, and they're commenting. We're going to take a look at some of those comments throughout the show. We have amazing guests. We have a potpourri of fabulous guests. We actually have members of the cast of The Reunion. I was telling you about this fantastic movie, this indie film that everybody is talking about. We have actor and filmmaker Dave Rosenberg, who stars as Ricky, and several other cast members too, and producers and so much more. We're so excited to have them here, coming from various locations as well, which is kind of cool. Now, if you are not familiar with this film, you're going to want to absolutely check it out. Tell you a little synopsis here. Reilly, a former actor, is on a spiritual journey in Union Square Park, Manhattan, New York, with his Buddhist mentor, Danny. Now, the high of his newfound spirituality is shattered when Ricky sees Travis, his childhood nemesis, who put him in the hospital after a fight over a girl. And when Ricky's best friend, Andy, an NYPD officer, returns from a trip overseas, he challenges Ricky to confront his nemesis at his upcoming high school reunion. The stakes are raised when Ricky falls in love with Natalie, a photographer who's also mixed up in her own drama with an ex-boyfriend. And when Ricky spots Natalie and Travis, he sets off on a dark night of the soul towards the reunion, a dreamlike event that has the main character searching for answers and testing his courage. And Ricky will need everything he learned from his two friends and his newfound love interest to make it really through his own personal hero's journey. It's absolutely fantastic. It's riveting. And as a matter of fact, gang, we do have the trailer, and we're going to show it to you right now. And they're going to be welcomed by, again, Dave and a cast of fantastic members from the actual movie itself. Here is the movie trailer, the official trailer here on the Jim Masters Show Live. This is The Reunion.
I saw someone from my past.
From?
Not exactly.
What are you doing?
You got something to say to me?
Ricky Reilly.
Oh my God, what happened to you?
Ricky.
Remember that day where I had the party in my backyard?
If you don't confront him, this guy is going to haunt you for the rest of your life. You think you're going to see him again?
Well, my high school reunion is Saturday night.
There you go.
How do I sit with this?
Just breathe, Ricky.
Is that your dog? Hola.
I don't think he speaks Spanish.
I'm Ricky.
Natalie.
So, you want to come up and, I don't know, watch Rebel Without a Cause with me?
Are you trying to lure me up to your apartment with a rebel without a cause?
Yes, I am.
Show me what you got. Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Come on, let's do it again!
Ricky, for the past 6 months, we've been learning the way of the peaceful warrior.
Yeah, but that all changed.
What changed?
I'm gonna go to that reunion tomorrow night.
It's fun.
Well, tell her.
I'm gonna confront this guy.
What did this guy do?
We had a fight.
Recently?
No, in high school.
Why is it so important to you that I confront this guy? Because I believe in confronting your fears.
Spirit is raving.
Not running away from them. That'll give you strength. That'll make you the man you want to be. No! That'll make you a true warrior. Yes, my boy. Yes!
Name?
Is that Ricky? I just have one question for you. Where have you been?
Absolutely amazing, gang. I know I see the comments coming in. It looks like an outstanding production. It really, really is. And we're very honored to have Dave with us, and also members of the cast coming in from various parts of the United States. Why don't we welcome them right now? Let's start with Dave joining us. Hey, Dave, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thanks so much for having me. Thanks for having us, Jim.
Oh my God, that looks so riveting. So before we bring the others on, tell us a little bit about this. This also plays off reality for you in your own life, right?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. So in 2002, I was going through a spiritual journey of my own in Union Square in Manhattan. I had just been in a play as an actor, and I went up on my lines, which is, the nightmare experience of an actor. And sort of left me questioning, my life and, where I was supposed to be and what I was supposed to be doing. And in the midst of this spiritual journey, I ran into my childhood nemesis, who was somebody that I felt really traumatized by. It wasn't exactly the experience that happened in the film in terms of a fight over a girl. It was sort of more of like my friends turning on me in middle school. And it kind of freaked me out seeing him, and it brought up a lot of stuff. And so I said to my two close friends from HB Studio, where we go on acting school, I told them that what had happened, and one said, "You have to write about this." That's Din, and he's going to come on in a moment. And Andrea, my other buddy, said, "You have to confront this guy." And so for the next 5 years, we kind of spent time working on this, improvising. Then I would kind of go off and write, and we would improvise. And then Andrea kind of at the same time was like preparing me to confront my real life childhood nemesis, which I ultimately did. And then It was only about 15 years later we actually made the movie. So from like 2008 until 2019, I guess about 10 years, we were all doing other things with our lives, and then we happened to come together by God's miracle and got the job done.
Wow. So what was that like? I mean, that was a long time in the making, but you really wanted to do it right, I guess, huh? To get it all together.
Yeah. I mean, there were definitely years where I thought this wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean? This was my dream. In my 20s, I want to be an actor. I want to be a successful actor. I want to make this movie. All the stars seemed like they were aligning, and then it just kind of fell apart. And I moved to Los Angeles, became a middle school teacher, and it was like, yeah, this is done. And then 2 years in a row, I had two middle school students, females, who said, "Mister, why are you here? You're always talking about acting. Why are you on some red carpet somewhere?" And that really hit me. About 3 or 4 in the morning, I woke up and I was like, yeah, we have to do this now. It's time. Yeah. And I called up Din and Andrea, and they could probably tell you the rest, but that started a journey of the last 4 years that, I'll soon never forget.
Well, the Jim Masters Show Lovely viewers are welcoming you and everybody to the show. They're watching from around the world. And Maureen in Arizona says, making this film must have been very cathartic for you. I would imagine, Dave, huh?
It was that. It was absolutely cathartic in a lot of ways. It was a dream, and it was a nightmare at the same time. It was all-inclusive, all-encompassing. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot from this experience. But it definitely was healing. In fact, I'm now starting to see some of those kids from my childhood who were part of that crew. I saw one this weekend in Las Vegas. I got to see my best friend from 3rd grade, and just kind of talked about, the past, and everybody has different perspectives on the past. And we think there's so much that's going on in our head, and we create these stories that might not always be exactly, reality.
Reality, right, exactly. And you and I are Long Island, New York boys originally.
That's true.
That's it. So we know where to get a good hot dog and a slice of pizza and
Hot dog.
yeah.
Right.
Mets or Yankees? That's the question, or both.
Oh, Yankees. Yankees.
I'm Mets, so we're even. We're even. But when New York's in it, then it doesn't matter. It's all New York, so we're in.
We're in it together.
That's it. So we have some more fabulous cast here, and we appreciate everybody assembling literally from all around. And I'll have you introduce them as we bring them on individually. Andrea is here. Welcome, Andrea.
Hi there. How is everybody?
Yeah, it's so cool to see you here, Andrea. And Kara is here as well. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. And we've got another guest here. Do you want to introduce who they all are, Dave, as we bring them on?
I would love to. And as you said before the show, this is something of a reunion because the four of us have not been together like this since the film. So
and Austin is here as well.
Austin is here.
Austin Pendleton.
Hey,
and Austin was a guest on the Jim Masters show live about a year ago. And Austin and I did like a 2-hour epic conversation that was just incredible. And so many people still binge watching it, and we'll have to have Austin back, but it was a pleasure having him on, icon that he is. And good to see you, Austin, and welcome everybody.
Thank you. You can hear me, right?
Yes, we hear you.
Good.
Yeah, you look good. Great lighting, great audio, the whole thing. So Dave, maybe we can do a little round robin here. You can introduce maybe first Andrea, and then each of you can tell us a little bit about, yourselves, your background for anybody watching who's not familiar.
So this is Andrea Monica. He's been with me from the start, going back 2 decades. And, Andrea was the one that I went to try to help me to get through this very difficult experience. Andrea's a producer on the film, co-story writer, lead actor, and just, one of my best friends. So I don't know what more to say. And I think he could tell you some more.
Yeah, I was going to say, Andrea, welcome. Tell us what about your background and how did you get involved with this incredible film?
Well, we were all students of Austin Pendleton at HB Studio. And dare I say, the greatest teacher that has taught there and is still teaching there, I presume. And we all met through HB Studio, and we all became friends. And, Dave pretty much said the story earlier on that he mentioned this situation that he had in his childhood growing up, and I had one view and then had the complete opposite view. And that set us off on the journey of Dave writing and us meeting up when we could, improving, reading scenes, watching videos, watching movies, and then unfortunately we couldn't find the financing and things fell apart. Dave went to LA, I got married, had kids, didn't stay in New York. And then 10 years later, I get a phone call from LA saying, I'm coming to New York to shoot the movie. And I was like, what?
Wow.
And then Dave said, are you in? I said, Dave, I haven't acted in 10 years and I have no clue if I can even play the part anymore. We wrote that 15 years ago. Are you crazy? He said, yeah, but I'm coming to New York. Are you in? I said, of course I am. But I'm going to let someone else play my part? No, that's not going to happen. Of course I'm in. So,
Oh, that's amazing. That's incredible. Well, it's great to have you here. And then, of course, Dave, we have the incomparable Austin Pendleton here as well. Did you want to do a little intro for Austin and how this all came together through Austin? Extraordinary.
Yeah, I mean, I met Austin also about 20 years ago. I think we met in 1999. I auditioned for his class at HB Studio. It was thrilling because I watched Austin in movies when I was a kid. I remember going to see My Cousin Vinny with my dad, and me and my dad just laughing like crazy. And it was pretty exciting and probably terrifying at the time.
Yeah,
to be auditioning for him. And I auditioned for him, and he kind of immediately cast me in something and cast me in a few things. And we did a lot of work together, and I was in Austin's class for about 7 years. And so when I was writing this movie, I wanted to write a part for Austin, and I just had a blast writing it. And then actually at one point, Andrea and myself went out to Chicago to ask Austin to direct this. And so initially, Austin, we had talked about directing. Austin directed us in a reading we did in 2008. And it was just great to have him be a part of this. And Austin is my mentor, and I adore him. And I'm just thrilled to see his face.
Yeah, we all are. Austin, it's so good to see you again, sir. Tell us about the involvement in this wonderful production and when you first heard about this film, and what your thoughts were, and just being involved in it in the glorious way that you are.
Well, I'm trying to remember a time when I didn't know about this film. I mean, it was a brewing, oncoming thing for a number of years, and so I didn't want to direct it because I'd never directed a film before, and I didn't want to have my debut totally screw up my inexperience screw up Dave's movie, and but I was very happy with the role. And the role is a firebrand. I mean, he's a political firebrand. And I remember one of the happiest nights I ever spent on a film set was from, roughly speaking, 11 o'clock at night to 5 in the morning. We shot a scene of political agitation here in New York in Washington Square Park. And take after take after take, and it was all very exciting with all the other actors and the director and everybody. And it was one of the most exciting 6 hours I ever. I mean, it wasn't the only thing, but it was the main scene that I ever had making movie. I mean, a handful of others are as exciting as that. One when I spent a whole day in an old house in Kansas City, shooting a long scene with Joanne Woodward in Mr. and Mrs. Bridge. That would be as exciting. And maybe, I think that's it.
That's incredible. What
I mean, there are lots of other splendid times you have when you make movies, but those two stretches of hours, there was something very alive going on that set that night in Washington Square. As I repeat, way past the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow the neighbors didn't seem to be complaining.
It's New York.
In fact, some of them, I guess, were looking out their windows or whatever. But it was, I keep using this word, but there was an electricity.
Yeah. There was something that was just really pulling, and an energy, and that's great. Dave, when you hear Austin explain it that way, how does that make you feel? Are you tingling right now?
Well, I'm humbled. Yeah, tingling is the right word. I mean, I teach film to middle school kids, and we're in the middle of watching Citizen Kane. Ooh. And Austin acted with Orson Welles, and he just said that this was one of the most thrilling things he's done. So, yeah, I'm humbled. I don't quite know what to say except thank you. And that's
You're
great.
welcome.
I'm happy about
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful.
You can repay me for the compliment. You can put me in your next movie.
I got you.
Oh, that sounds good.
I drive a hard bargain. Yeah.
I don't think anything about you, Austin.
And you heard it all here on the Jim Master Show live. How cool. And then, Dave, we have another guest. Introduce our next guest.
Because the movie is can I say two things?
Oh, yeah,
about
go
the
ahead.
script real quick?
Yes,
First of all, it's a real screenplay.
Yes.
It's not like a play put into scenes in a film. It flows like a real, authentic screenplay.
Right.
Secondly, and I was so impressed by this, Dave doesn't paint himself as the simple, uncomplicated, innocent victim, which a lot of writers do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to make a film about how badly people treated me in my life, or a play.
Right.
He implicates himself in subtle ways. It's not an orgy of self-loathing or anything like that, but he acknowledges his contribution to his trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, is the mark of a real writer, where where they do that. And that really impressed me. But I didn't feel I was being, when I read the screenplay and then when I saw the movie, I didn't feel I was being manipulated.
That's a great way to look at it. Yeah.
Like or not like any character in the movie. Everybody, including Dave's character, had a complexity.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Austin. I appreciate that.
My
That means
pleasure.
a lot. That means a lot coming from such an excellent writer as yourself.
Thank you.
And in a movie, everything that Austin just said is what you really strive for, and hope is the result of all the effort and, you know, the structure and just all of it. And I think that's
almost all the great films. You see
Yeah.
everybody whole.
Yes, right,
It's not just the good guys and the bad guys.
right.
You know, think back of all the really great movies, including the most recent ones, et cetera, and the old ones. They all have that in common.
Yes, absolutely. Even something like, you know, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
Yeah.
Every character was whole. You felt connected to every single character, not really necessarily one standing out. You just felt different things with Spencer Tracy, Katharine Hepburn, Sidney Poitier, just all of them. Really,
you felt this is a real person. This isn't a figure I'm supposed to feel a certain way about.
Right, exactly. Which is, to accomplish that is extraordinary. Yeah. Absolutely. Thanks for those great words, Austin, as well. And then Dave, as we continue our Brady Bunch roundtable.
Yes, let's keep going around and around. This is Din James Dawn, and Din also has been with this project for 20 years. And met Din in HB Studio. We did Waiting for Godot in Austin's class. That's first bit.
Nice.
Andrea and
but we got to say though, after we did the scene, Austin said, no one is ever allowed to do scene from that play again.
Wow,
I that is a compliment.
It was not a compliment.
Oh, it was not?
No.
Wow.
Oh dear.
I think that happened after I did Shakespeare in your class too, Austin. After I did Hamlet, I think that happened as well.
That is funny.
I'm glad we're finally confronting this.
Right. So Din, 20 years, huh?
Well, actually, I've known Dave for that long, but
Wow.
The film, you know, like Dave and Andrea said, it just came from a very sort of real incident, a real sort of impetus that Dave encountering this high school classmate. And when he was talking to me anyway, and to borrow Austin's word, there was just a sense of electricity that was coming out of him, where he was just vibrating about what was happening to him when he saw this classmate. And as an actor and as an artist, you know, we pay attention to these things.
Right.
We pay attention to why something affects us and how deeply it affects us. And as we were talking, I was like, Dave, you're an actor, you're a writer. He had just finished writing like a one scene short that he put on stage and all that. So I said, you're a writer. Why don't you write about it and process it through it that way? So that's how I got involved.
That's incredible. That's fantastic. And tell us a little bit about your background as well, Din.
I'm from California, but I'm here in New York. Came here and got stuck and never left. And it's hard to leave this place because
it's a good kind of stuck, right? Yeah.
I've gone back to California and visited family, and whenever I'm there, I'm like, this place is so boring. Everyone's at home and they drive to their mailboxes. So it's just
in some areas they have somebody that does the driving to the mailbox for them.
Exactly right. And then you meet such interesting and fascinating people. The city attracts all kind of different types of people, crazy, smart, talented, beautiful. And you just get stuck here and you get spoiled.
You get spoiled. Yeah. So you're spoiled and you're happy. Well, we're happy to have you here. And then we have Kara here as well. Welcome.
Hi.
So how did you get involved? And has it been 20 years for you too?
No, I'm kind of the outlier, I guess, of the group. I had a different experience. I auditioned for the show, had a call back with Dave. I auditioned with Dave initially as well, and then had a call back, and then got it, which was awesome. And then met up with Dave. We would work a little bit on in the park on the scripts together, which is where I initially learned about the kind of depth of the project, which I admire a lot, because I feel like in order to write something that's based off your own life or a particular life experience, but also be open to it not being beat by beat exactly what happened in your life, is kind of a tricky thing to navigate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I met all these lovely folks who have been a part of it for quite a while now. And yeah, that's how I became involved.
Now, you were born and raised in Miami, right?
That is correct.
And you grew up on the Jersey Shore?
I grew up in the summers and the winters. Yeah, we would visit my mom's family because my parents met when they were 18, and they were like, I'm not sure if we're allowed to curse on here. I need to stop cursing so much. Anyway, they were like, screw the Northeast, let's move to Miami. So all my family still is in Jersey. So we would spend summers and winter breaks with the family.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Now you play Natalie. Tell us about Natalie. A little about Natalie.
Natalie's cool. She's a photographer. She spends her days in the park watching people, maybe taking their photos. And then one day she happens upon Ricky. And the rest you'll have to watch.
Yeah.
But Natalie's great. And I was so excited to play. I mean, kind of like what Austin was saying, none of these characters are one noted, right? Like Natalie, she's interested, but she's not. She's peaceful, but she's also combative. Like there's a lot of layers to her, which is just a gift for an actor to be able to explore. But specifically with the photography, I love photography myself. So that was a really cool thing. I got to bring my own camera and take actual pictures. So that was really cool.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, Din, a little bit about you. You're a Vietnamese-born actor, and you've had an opportunity to have appearances on CBS's political drama series, Madam Secretary, and the long-running soap opera, One Life to Live, as well. Tell us about some of the television dabblings there.
They're very limited, to be honest. But just to be there and watch these people work, and learning from Austin, especially, watching how he works. It's people think that acting is just a game, and it is. It's fun, but people dedicate their lives to this craft.
Yeah,
people put a lot of themselves into it. Austin reads everything. He knows everything there is to know about Shakespeare, and so people dedicate their lives to this. And that's always very inspiring, and it's good to meet people like that because it inspires you and it challenges you to be more. To dedicate even more than you think you are. But just going back to sort of the point that Austin was talking about, the different sort of sides to the character, and I know that Andrea said that he and Dave and I sort of had a lot of meetings. But we also had a lot of fights, a lot of arguments, a lot of strong opinions. And it all was to do that, to challenge each other and say, hey, this character is this way, but have you thought about that it could be this way?
Right.
The character has not thought about it because, like Dave said, we're all in our own heads a lot of times. So for an outsider's perspective to look at the character and say, hey, you think this is what happened to you, but is it what happened to you? Was it what happened to you? So a lot of our arguments, a lot of our fights, a lot of our strong discussions had to do with that, to try to sort of build out the characters so they're more three-dimensional than just flat. And I just want to compliment Kara because, you know, Dave and Andrea and I are guys, so we don't know the women perspective, the female perspective. And when she came on board, she just added so much, and she built out this character and make her alive and emotional, and it's just wonderful to see.
And it also should be, if I may, it should be noted. I remember having a conversation with Dave, and I said, "How many people, you know, submitted for that part? And how many people auditioned for that part?" And it was over 1,200 submissions for the character.
Wow.
So now let's, you know, we all know each other. You know, we all know each other, and we're
going on here,
and we've all worked together for a while. But to have someone, you know, not know anybody and on their own merits come up and win the part like that was already, you know, you need to tip your hat to that. On top of that, I always remember after we shot the Hookah Scene and we all got dropped off at home base, and I jumped out of the car and I saw Kara on her own. I don't know if you remember the conversation we had, and I saw you, and, you know, there was so much going on. It was really late. I don't know. I think it was 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning. We'd been shooting overnight. Everyone's a hot mess. And then I remember having a conversation with Kara, and she was just feeling a little, you know, out of sorts. And I said, so keep in mind, we've been with this for a gazillion years. Your character was in a room in you know, like in the hookah place with 3 guys she doesn't really know, trying to hold her own, not knowing these people, not knowing where she is. Everything you're feeling and everything you are is what it should have been, and you were wonderful. I don't know if you remember that.
I do. Yeah, I do.
And it must be noted, she won Best Actress or Best Actress for the movie. So, you know, to come on and not know anyone, to win the part, to be with, you know, people that have been with this project for a long time, hold their own and then excel. That's just fantastic. And I think that, that should be noted.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes. And congratulations. And matter of fact, Dave, this has garnered quite a bit of accolades and awards, the reunion, right? Tell us about some of that, and congratulations to you and to all.
Yeah, thank you. We won Best Picture for Soho Film Festival, Best Actor for Kara. We both got some wonderful awards, nice little statues. Kara, I'm sure you have yours. And we also won the Nyack Film Festival, Best Picture and Best Director. So, and I also just want to say, you know, Kara was wonderful. I mean, she didn't have a false note in the film. And, you know, when people talk about the movie, they talk about how good the directing was, but they also, you know, generally single out Kara. And Kara really did hold her own in a very male-driven film. And Kara also is about 20 years younger than us. You know, Kara's, you know, a lot younger. So she was fantastic. You know, we had some rehearsals before. We had some improvisations before we filmed that were just amazing.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
I think from the get-go, we just felt really comfortable with each other acting. And I think people saw that in the auditions, and it was pretty clear that she was the right person for the part. And honestly, Natalie was not a huge part initially. This was never a romance film. It's never what it was. It was not a huge part. You know, Din was Danny. Andrea was Andy. I was Ricky. Austin was Al. Natalie was an amalgam of a lot of people that I had met or seen around. She was not a big part, but Kara made it a big part. You know what I mean? She took it and went with it. You know, to me, I always looked at Good Will Hunting. That was the movie that was the template for me. And I think Minnie Driver did that as well. And also being the sole female in a male-driven cast, she took that part and she ran with it. She made it her own. And I think Kara did that as well. She was fantastic in this film.
That is fantastic. Austin, you play Al. Tell us about the character of Al.
Well, he's a firebrand. He's, like I said, he's a radical. That's the thing I most remember, but he's also fiercely connected to his students. Do I have all this right, Dave?
Yeah.
Or am I mixing it up?
No, you did.
And he's... it's interesting to play any character who's on fire with anything. And he's on fire with his capacity. his relationships as a teacher, and he's on fire with his politics. And there's never a moment when he's not.
Mm-hmm.
And those things really, when you play a role like that, you're always charged up with all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to mention, Austin mentioned about the scene that he shot in Washington Square Park, but the scene that I was there and that I remember was when we shot a scene of him in Union Square Park. Mm-hmm. And this movie was shot before the pandemic, right before the pandemic, right before the lockdown. So if you watch it, it's a little bit nostalgic and it's a little bit like, wow, that's what New York used to be like.
Prior,
because it's so different now. So different now.
Yeah.
So much has changed.
I remember the Union Park one.
Yeah, but I remember like he was protesting, so this camera was going all the way around him and he was doing the scene. And the people that was random people walking down the street were just stopping and watching him, thinking it's real, thinking this guy is real, protesting like the development of the park and all this stuff. So
I was certain I was going to be arrested.
And Austin didn't care. Austin just did it. He was committed and he was just out there yelling. It was great.
That's amazing. That's really cool. And Andrea, you hail from, now you were born in Italy, but you grew up in Australia, right? And you lived in numerous continents and landed in New York City at the age of 18. So you saw a lot of places and zip codes in life early on. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, I was a little bit older, but I'm not going to say how much older I was. I was a little bit older than that. But I don't know, my dream was always to come to New York and to be an actor in New York. That was my dream. My idols were Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. I grew up in Australia. Unfortunately, we were the first immigrants there, and there was a lot of racism. And I said, I'm leaving. I'm never coming back. And I used to watch Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, thinking they were Italians, which they both are Italian-American. And I thought, well, they're loved and they're doing really well. And I'm going to go there and I'm going to act. I'm going to be like them and I'm going to be loved and I'm going to be appreciated, So, I came to New York and I studied in a couple of schools in Australia and in a school in London, and the National Theatre Drama School that I got into, which is an amazing school in St Kilda, Melbourne, Australia, only accepts 40 students a year. And then only 20 get into the second year and only 10 get into the third year. And we had to read Uta Hagen's The Challenge for the Actor. And we would work a lot on that book and the exercises. And I thought, wow, I'm going to go to HB Studios. I'm going to go to Hagen School. Yeah. And I that's where I want to go. And that's where I'm going to learn how to act. And I'm going to be like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. So that's what really brought me here. And then life happens and, you get a little bit older and you just, your narrow-minded view just broadens up a little bit. And, I'm here, I'm acting, and life is great. I'm living the dream, but I don't say it with sarcasm.
And what, of course, everybody wants to know when they see shots now more than ever, because everybody does things out of their houses and you see the bookcases behind everybody. Have you read all the books behind you in those bookcases?
I read a lot of them. That was part of going to
or is that a green screen?
Yeah, that's a total green screen. But that was, 3 years full time at HB Studios. There was a lot of stuff I needed to read for my
brush
class.
up on. Right, exactly.
Yeah. So,
now you play the character of Andy. Tell us about Andy.
Well, I decided that I was going to use all the memories I had with a lot of the New York police officers that I knew. And then there was a couple of them that I knew quite well. And I was fortunate enough to tell them I was doing this movie and if I could go to all the precincts and hang out with them. And they would let me in and I would sit at the break rooms of the precincts, which was extremely helpful because I remember one time in particular, he was introducing me to all the officers that were going off their shift and coming in their shift or having a break. And it was the strangest thing that they were all so completely different. There was one woman that was in her late 50s that she should have retired but still hadn't. She looked like a librarian. She had these glasses and she was a bigger woman, and she just sat on the chair and she just spoke like she was a librarian. I'm scratching my head thinking, am I in New York City? Is this? And then there was this Irish kind of guy, and then there was this black guy with dreads, and he came, and I'm like, that was a really important moment for me, because a police officer can be anything. And I didn't want to be a stereotype, a New York cop. And I thought they can have an Irish accent. They can look Jamaican with dreads. They can, and I was happy to go with my accent. You know, I'd come to this country as I have, and I became a police officer, which I could have done, you know. So that was a realization. And towards the end of my time at HB Studio, I was doing a lot of Meisner work. And the first thing that happened to me is I said, I wish I'd done this a lot earlier. And it was just discarding everything and just being me. And it was me being a police officer. I was also a bartender for a long time, and I'd get invited to the police officers' poker games. I was the only bartender, and I'd have a table of 10, 12, you know, detectives, police officers, you know. And it was interesting that when I was on the set, a couple of people came up to me and said, "We just found out you're not a police officer. We thought you were." I said, "Oh, okay." So that's all, you know, that was
advertising. Yes.
Yes. So I just tried to be me with the history of this project.
Yes.
Who happened to become a police officer.
Yeah.
And I wasn't trying to act. I wasn't trying to do characters. That was just me. The most difficult thing was turning back the clock 10, 15 years of when we wrote this.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten married, I've had kids, you know, and back then I was single, I was in New York, and it was, I'm acting, and, you know, let's have a good time. So that was a little tricky to turn back the clock. And I also remember Austin said to me once, we were talking about preparation, the way to prepare. And I mean, we should maybe ask Austin. He's going to say it a lot more eloquently than I am. But there's sometimes for a project, you need to prepare for maybe months. For other projects, you maybe don't really need to prepare a lot.
Right.
And I didn't want to prepare too much. The story we knew, we wrote, and it was partly in a true story, you know. I was playing me. I just had to reverse the clock, and the police officer thing was a thing that's always been. I was thinking of being one for a while too. So, you know, I just didn't want to overthink it. And Dave and I had the chemistry. We were friends. You know, we'd always bounce off each other, and the characters were like that. You know, so why am I going to try and, you know, have this contrived, thought out? No, let's just be us and have a blast.
You know, I was going to ask you that, and you answered it, which was great, you know, because I love to find out how much of oneself is in the character that they play. And obviously, you so beautifully said there are elements of yourself in that character, huh?
Absolutely. That was my motorcycle that I bought on set. Still sitting in my garage. That's what I do. Indian Larry, that's my guy. You know,
there it is. There.
You know, so I love motorcycles. The motorcycle came on the set. You know, I think it was all me.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
With a twist of truth.
Exactly. How about the rest of you, like Kara? How much of Natalie is in Kara and Kara and Natalie?
I think there was less transformation necessary for a character like this than if I were doing a period piece, or if I were doing somebody like I spoke with my voice. I didn't really have to manipulate my voice in any type of way. So you can see in the trailer where she gets a little pissed off at Ricky, and she screams. She's like, "Hey, wait, get back! You stop!" You know, like, that's how I would scream. Yeah, I mean, I'm not Natalie, but she's not so far from me than other characters I've played. Like I said, I love photography. I got to bring my own camera, so that was, you know,
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Dan, how about you? How much of Danny is in you, and how much of Dan is in Danny?
Interesting question. I actually took a personality test today because I was bored.
Did you?
Because I was bored. Why not? I'm like,
what did you just say? What did you just say?
He took a personality test today.
Personality test.
Wait, which one?
I forgot the name of it, but there was like 4 options, right? You could either be, and they equate it to like film characters. So you could either be Han Solo, Luke, Princess Leia, or Yoda. Guess which one I ended up as?
Yoda.
Yeah. Right.
You could do worse. That's totally all 4 of us. Those 4, that's us.
Yoda.
Right. So these are the 4 characters here: Princess Leia, Andrea is Han Solo, Dave is Luke.
Well, then you have Obi-Wan Kenobi, and
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Cut. It's a wrap. Cut. Print.
Oh my gosh! I didn't even put that together.
Together, right? Yeah.
So the character is very not who I am, but it's an essence of who I really am.
Yes.
I'm kind of a guy who gives advice, and people talk to me a lot about things, and I just go, yeah, and have you thought about this? And what about that? And not really taking sides, not really supporting them in what they want to do, but just be a soundboard. And that's sort of the Danny's character to me.
Yeah. And Austin, how much of Al is in Austin and Al?
Well, I think Al is sort of certain very key aspects of Al were what I wish were certain key aspects of me.
Yeah, right.
I think when we started to shoot, it was like, it just felt like, this is always been there waiting to get out.
Yeah.
I hadn't realized that.
Is that amazing when that happens?
We started to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this brought that out for you. It rose to the surface and came out through Al.
I guess I felt it felt like meeting someone that actually I knew.
What do you think caused that? Was there a freedom, an openness to the character? What was it about this particular character that allowed you to express that in the way that you did, Austin?
Well, I've been told, of course we don't know ourselves, but I get told somewhat often, and my own personal verb in a lot of interactions is to placate. The downside of that is that when something triggers me and I do the opposite of placate, people get really upset because they're not expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
And so in a way, I do have an instinct to placate, but to a certain degree that can involve a certain amount of concealment. Well, that thing that is the other side of the placating is exactly what this character that I play in the reunion is not. Oh my God, is not a placater. I think we can safely say.
Right.
And when it came out, when it just started to come out, I thought, oh, this is the guy who, once in a while, I'm like that in life. Mm-hmm. Once in a very long while. Mm-hmm. Or if I am like that, though, it's just usually kind of momentary. But this guy, he rides this train.
Was it refreshing? Was it liberating for you in certain ways?
It was all of that, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's amazing, huh? Dave, and Din and, co-creators, it looks like there's a lot of things that came out of this, even for the participants involved, that might have even exceeded your own expectations 20 years ago and going forward with it. All of these revelations and all of this, deepness and depth coming out of this movie, out of these characters, out of this whole epic experience. Dave, how does that make you feel? And tell us a little about that. Is that something you had hoped, or is this just something that, as you're hearing it, is surprising you?
Well, I guess reflecting off of what Austin just said, I mean, I think it's hard as, artists, creative, sensitive people, it's hard to be in the world like that 100%. It's almost impossible. You know what I mean? You know, and so we can't all be politics. We can't all be the characters we play. We can't all be politicians. It's just impossible. You know what I mean? So art is a way to get that out, to have that type of catharsis, and to play these characters. And that's a beautiful thing, you know, and that's what writing this was too, is like, I don't know if I could have confronted this guy without this script. This script was my companion to confronting the thing that scared me the most, which essentially turned out to be something inside of me that wasn't even that guy, you know? So there's a lot of lives that were affected, changed by this. There were relationships formed, relationships ended, relationships repaired. I mean, there's a lot. It's 20 years of people's lives. And, I think it's, you know, Andrea and Dean and I have talked about, you know, like we've seen the best of each other. We've seen the worst of each other. But the beauty of that is we've seen so much of each other. You know what I mean? It's like, we're human. We're all human. We're all flawed. We're all beautiful. We're all incredibly difficult. You know what I mean? At times, I'll say myself, I'm incredibly difficult. But that's been an interesting thing to look back on, because now we've been through it. So we look back and go, wow. You know, as hard as that was, I got to see, you know, colors in Din that I hadn't seen before, and Andrea, and as well, Kara to a certain extent as well, in the short time frame, and Austin as well. So I'm just grateful that we're all here.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely yes. Now, when you say difficult, is it more that you are striving for perfection? You really want to get it right, and you want things exacting? Is that part of that? Maybe.
I think that's part of it. I think it's wanting to, I love greatness. Maybe it's just about the high of experiencing, you know, when you see a great team, when you see the old Chicago Bulls, or when you see Steph Curry, there's something exciting, almost like a drug. It's just great. It's like right now I'm teaching my kids, and they just shot their first scene of their film today. This is the first time we've had a film program here at this middle school in Los Angeles, and they shot their first scene today. And I'm just trying to encourage them, guys, don't make this like an okay film. Because you're going to go and you're going to sit down, because, by the way, they're going to be showing this at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood. And there's going to be people, and there's going to be a red carpet. I mean, it's going to be great. And I'm like, guys, you don't want to sit down with people around you, and you're going to see an okay film. But at the end of the day, I can't control that. So that's part of the difficulty too, is to have a vision and to have passion and to want to do something in a certain way, but you can't control other people. You know what I mean? Other people are not pawns.
Right,
other
exactly.
People with opinions and visions themselves and creativity themselves, and that's been a challenge trying to pursue and trying to make a vision happen, to bring a vision to fruition, but also to collaborate with people.
Right,
that's been the hardest part of this, and
it's your story, so it's very personal to you. And tell us about Ricky.
Ricky's me. I mean, honestly, he is. I mean, I don't know what part of Ricky is not me. It's just me, maybe exaggerated, me getting to do things that I didn't get to do, but I wished I had done, like walk through Union Square like a lunatic. You know what I mean? Like, and then I actually got to do that in Union Square, like shooting those scenes and like being able to like go down to the ground and pick up puddles of water and splash them on my face and do all this with people sitting on the benches going, what the hell is that guy doing?
What's he doing?
And then they turn on and see a camera. It's a movie.
Yeah. What about the folks who've known you throughout your life, your family, your friends, those who know the story, the reality of it? What's been their response and their take, and how they, commented, the feedback from them, Dave?
I think they're proud. I mean, I think of my parents. You know, my dad's been very invested in this film. He's helped out financially. He's been to the festivals. He's in the movie. He's in it. The guy in the beginning. So that was healing in itself. That was cathartic in itself. You know, as anybody knows anything, you know, anybody who has a father knows that that's not an easy relationship. And then my mom is just really proud. My mom is, you know, she's got a lot. She feels a lot. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And she still feels guilty. Like, she watches the movie and she feels guilty that she didn't do more to help me in this situation in seventh grade where my friends turn. I said, Mom, I'm over it. You know what I mean?
Right. She still wants to give me their names and numbers. I'm going to see their mother.
And she did do that. She did that in sixth grade. And I said, Mom, no, I don't want it to get any worse. I don't want you to get
you might make it worse.
So I think they're proud. You know, we had our billboard on Times Square 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And my mom texted me and called me and said, "Is that real?"
Yeah.
She said, "Is that Times Square?" I said, "Yeah."
That's
So-
the Times Square. We do have that clip. We showed the trailer earlier, folks. So definitely check this out again. You see the trailer, and it's fantastic. We're talking to Dave and Din and all these wonderful folks from the reunion. This really, really well received indie film. We have the Hookah Scene. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh man, I mean, this is, to me, the Hookah Scene is where the four main characters get together. It's the only time the four main characters are together in the film. I kind of see it as like halftime. Like the first half is kind of all about spirituality and friendship and such, and then you kind of get a break in the middle, and then the second half just kind of takes off and sort of more of the thriller piece. You know, we call it a spiritual thriller. It's like spiritual thriller, and then in the middle is this Hookah Scene. So it's an opportunity for each character to give their perspective, but really each archetype in a way to give their perspective. And it's I think what excited me most about this film, working with Din and Andrea for years, is we had an elemental question, which is, how do you confront a situation? How do you confront a fear without being the bully, right, that you're trying to confront, and without running away?
Exactly.
Right, and that's kind of what this was for me. What about you guys? What was the Hookah Scene for you?
Want to add anything to it, Din?
Nope, that was perfect.
He said, or the rest.
Even though he said it's a break,
Yeah.
it's like a timeout. It's really is not a timeout. It's sort of
That's
in the
true, too.
middle, a crossroad for the
Yeah.
film where it changes from one thing to something else.
Fantastic. Here's the Hookah Scene from the reunion.
For the past 6 months, we've been learning the way of the peaceful warrior.
What?
Yeah, but that all changed.
What changed?
Well, I'm gonna go to that reunion tomorrow night.
What reunion?
My high school reunion.
Oh, that's fun.
Well, tell her. I'm gonna confront this guy.
What did this guy do?
We had a fight.
Recently?
No, in high school.
Are you Oh, so you had a fight in high school and you're gonna confront him now? Why can't you just get over it?
Because I obviously can't get over it.
But is confronting this guy gonna give you the peace that you seek?
Absolutely.
Peace doesn't come from this guy.
Of course it does. If he doesn't confront this situation, which happens to be this guy, it's just going to keep repeating itself.
I don't know. I think that's thinking of things in a pretty linear way.
That's thinking about it in a linear way.
Absolutely not. Certain things were created in certain moments in your life. You carry that forward with you.
Carry that with you.
Right? And in order to rectify it, you need to go back and confront whatever it is that was causing it.
But it's not about confronting Travis. It's about confronting yourself. Is Travis here? Where's Travis?
Yeah, confront it now.
Look at this. He gave me this.
You attach meaning to that.
I didn't attach anything. I got an invite to my high school reunion. The next day I see this guy and I totally freaked out. You saw me. And I believe these coincidences are part of the path.
It is part of the path.
But if something comes in that's not all light and peaceful, then it's, oh, don't go there, it's dangerous.
I don't think he's saying everything has to be light and peaceful.
Look, at some point, every person needs to stand up and confront whatever fear is in front of them.
Really cruel, huh? What a tease that was. Wow. Beautifully shot, too. That's one of the things, too. I mean, it's very beautifully, there's the feeling of it and the textures and the colors, and very beautifully shot. Again, another thing.
It was shot on location at a real hookah scene, hookah place. So that's what that was important, like to add actual locations in this film.
Yes.
To as much as we could.
The authenticity.
The authenticity of the place, because the city, I love New York City, but the city is a very important and vital part of this film.
Yes.
So it's not just like some random room, but you're in an actual location.
We always said that the city was one of the characters.
That the city is a character unto
It's
itself.
one of the characters in the movie. Dave could have saved a little money and shot it at home base, because that could have quite easily been transformed into the hookah place. But he said no. You know, he spent the extra money, the extra time, overnight shoot, which was probably the hardest shoot, and to shoot it in that place. And that place had history. For 20 years we'd been going there. Wow. And, you know, this is where we would smoke our hookahs and talk about scenes and talk about actors and movies. And you know, it had a lot of significance. And, you know, that's where I'm going to go back to the not acting part. You know, I just felt like that was just another time we were hanging out, and Din was there and Kara was there, which was some girl he was dating. And, you know, here we are.
That's cool. That is so cool. What's the takeaway for each of you, you know, in being a part of such a project? What's the takeaway for you personally, and what is it that each of you individually hope the consumer of the movie, the viewer of the movie, gets from it? Start with you, Dave.
Well, I want to mention, if you want to see the trailer or learn anything more about the film, you can check out thereunionfilm.com, which has been put together by our wonderful web guy, Jay Cruz. Also want to say we're going to be premiering at the Laemmle in Glendale, in Los Angeles County, not the Glendale in Arizona, the one in California, next week, March 11th. So that information is all on the website. Just want to get that out of the way. What am I going to take away from it? Wow. I mean, you know, my feeling and my desperate need to do this film was about no regrets. I didn't want to be, you know, 85 years old and look back and go, yeah, we could have done it, but we didn't do it. That just would have eaten me alive. So, you know, was it a nightmare at times? Yes. Was it one of the hardest things I've ever been through? Yes. You know, did I see myself in places that I, you know, maybe didn't want to see myself? Yes. But I'm glad we did it. You know, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about these guys. And you know, learned a lot about collaboration, and learned that, like, you know, when you set your mind to something, you can do it. It's not going to be perfect, but you can do it.
That's fantastic. How about you, Andrea? What is the takeaway for you, and what do you hope people get from this production?
The takeaway for me was, if this was quite a feat to get this done.
Yeah.
It was enormous, and it stretched everyone. I said it to Dave a few times. I said, it's like we're all thrown into this pressure cooker, and the lid gets put on, and it's, you know, we're all getting, the pressure is enormous, and we're all going to pop at some point. It was really tough. But having said that, I'm going to do it again, and we're going to do it again. But I want to do it differently. I want to keep getting better.
Yeah.
You know,
the reunion too.
The reunion too.
The return
that people take away, you know, from watching this movie. For a very long time, the tagline was "Confront your fears."
Yeah.
You know, and to me, that's what it was always about. So people that watch this movie, they see Ricky confronting his fears, and maybe pose the question, what am I carrying? What have I been carrying for all these years? Big, small, you know, whatever it may be. And, you know, should I confront it? And if so, how? And maybe set off on their own journey. And it's asked me, you know, it's posed the question to me, well, what are your fears? Have you confronted them all? Or, you know, have you gotten to where you want to get to? And that's what I hope for anyone that watches it.
How about you, Kara?
Great question. I think my takeaway as an individual and as an artist was that that I'm enough. I know that sounds a little cliche, but I was actually going to I was debating kind of throwing the rag, throwing in the towel. What's the phrase? Throwing.
Yeah.
I was debating giving up, frankly, being an actor before this film. I was just kind of tired. And like you guys have mentioned, the film itself also presented certain challenges that are normal, that were both unique and to the set, but also normal, because every film set has unforeseen challenges, you know?
Yeah.
And that if everyone is coming from a place of wanting to make great art, then it'll work itself out, because I believe intention is everything, and everyone had the intention of making the best movie possible and really giving themselves to the story. So if you're staying true to your good intentions, then things will work out. And I think what I hope people take away from the movie is there will be times, and what I take away from the movie is that there are times when where you're confronted with yourself, which involves your fears. It also involves like your dreams, and it involves beautiful things and terrifying things. And again, if you are staying true to yourself, even if you're confronted with a version of yourself that's like super freaking scary, things will work out as long as you stay with yourself and you stay true to who you are.
Yeah.
That's
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. And Din, you as well, being co-creator and acting in it as well. What's your takeaway? What is the takeaway for you, and what do you hope that the consumer of the product, the viewer, gets out of it?
I hope people, as they watch this, that they see, because I saw it when I first saw it, when it's all put together with all the music and the color and the sound and all this stuff, that, and this is just my personal take, and I don't know if anyone else will see it this way, but I see it as a piece of art. And for me, a piece of art is not perfect. You will see flaws, and then you will see something that works. But what you should see is the artist, really. And if you can see the artist in the artwork, then the artwork has succeeded. And I feel like when I saw this film, literally my mom was saying, I'm seeing Dave.
Yeah.
Because it is his film. He wrote it, he produced it, he helped with the editing part of it. He chose a lot of the collaborators, invited all of us to be a part of it. And so when I saw him, like, that's Dave. All the good, the bad is all there. So when I saw it, I felt that, and I told my friends, I'm like, well, if you see this and when you see this, yeah, of course we can sit there and nitpick and say what happened there, and that doesn't make sense, and this character doesn't work, not developed, blah, blah, blah. But if you sort of step away from that and just see it as a whole, you will see an artwork. And that's what I saw, and that's why I'm really sort of very honored and proud to be involved and be a part of it, of this project.
Beautifully said. And Austin, how about you? What is your own personal takeaway, and what do you hope that the viewers are left with watching this film?
A personal takeaway was, my experience was that I worked with actors I love, and the ones I didn't know before, I loved them too. And a director who I thought was extraordinary, and most of all, a script that was really together and unsparingly honest. It was unsparingly honest and kind of delightful at the same time, which is a very rare and magic combination. But I think that for the audience, see, the basic story of this is about something that's really universal. But it's a very particular world. And I think a wonderful thing about the movie, it's a world that many people who will see it it isn't their world at all, and yet they will be able to feel like they belong in it. And I think that's one of the great things about movies and storytelling. You find, and if it's a good movie, and this is a really good movie, you find yourself. I mean, I happen to know something about this world, but sometimes I see a film where it's a good film. I know nothing of this world, and I feel that I belong in it. And that's just mind-blowing. And I think this will be that for a whole lot of people who see it. It'll blow the people's minds who do know something about the world this is and the issues these are. And it will blow the minds also of people who don't know it at all.
Yeah. Beautifully
That's
said.
kind of long-winded, but you see my
No.
Yeah.
That's beautifully said. It's really seems like it's a film that transcends the ages. I mean, and time, because of, you know, what it is, the issues that you're dealing with, and that the platforms, it's on some, you know, fantastic platforms too. What are the other hopes you have for this film? Where would you like to take it beyond even where it is now? Are there other ideas for this beloved production, Dave?
Right now, I'm just handing out a bunch of postcards.
Yeah, he's doing old school.
I'm just
shaking hands.
Man, I'm handing out postcards all over town, and people have been great in all the stores. And say 95% of the people in the stores are happy to, you know, hand out postcards, and that's great. I'm looking forward to the premiere. I hope you can all come to LA, and if you can't, then I hope to see you guys are trying to set up a Zoom so that the actors in New York can be in part of the Q&A.
Did a New York premiere already happen?
Well, sort of, because we did 3 film festivals in New York.
Right,
2 in person, 1 was, so we kind of feel like we did New York, and we had a lot of cast and crew and all that, and then to get a theater in New York is very expensive. Yeah, the Lemley, we got a great deal, you know, and they've been really good to us. So in terms of next steps, this is kind of last step in a way. You know, anything that happens after this to me is gravy. You know what I mean? But I'm open. You know, I think I also am gonna hopefully start doing some speaking engagements about bullying at schools. So I'm working on that. Hopefully next year. You know, I work with middle school kids, so you
see it and hear it all the time. And now with social media, you know, that's a whole other in every aspect of life, not even for the kids, just for any of us. I mean, it's just brought on a whole we're living in I keep saying we're living in the land now in the time of what is it? Retraction. And, you know, everybody's like, apologize. They say something. And then I keep saying every time when somebody says something like on Twitter and they have to then retract it and they have to apologize, I'm saying to myself, whatever happened to taking a minute and a breath before you said or did something? Is that out the window? Because like everybody who's living is almost having to constantly retract and apologize, you know, with regret for doing what they're doing and saying what they're saying. And I'm like, why did you even? Because
it's easy to go from here to here,
to press send and then have to sort of reel it back
editing,
in.
You know, there's no editing.
Right.
Where in the old days, you have to write an op-ed piece. You have to sit down and write it and think about it.
You would write an editorial to the TV station, and then they would bring you on.
They have to consider it. They think, is it something that's worth saying? Now it's like from here to your fingers and straight out to everyone in the world.
Is that good or bad, or mixed?
I don't know. I mean, it's good in the sense that information is so readily available. Like with what's happening in Ukraine, we know right away exactly what's happening. So that Russia can't hide and can't pretend and say, no, it's not happening. Because we're seeing it the second it happens. Right. But it's bad. And you talk about kids, I feel for them the most. Yeah. Because they're so impressionable. Young people are so impressionable. So if they hear something, someone criticizes them in a way that is not productive, it could be very destructive to them.
Yes. Yeah. And right. And their minds and their brains are still developing. And, you know, when we were kids, we didn't know every single thing that was going on in the adult world. We were, you know, we were kids. We were having fun. We were playing. We were, you know, studying and doing what we were doing. But now a kid can go upstairs. Now a kid wants to be sent to their room if they didn't finish their supper. Because when you go to the room, it's like NASA, please send me to the room because I'd prefer to go there because I don't want to talk and I'm going to go up in the room and I've got everything I want. And I can Google what you're not telling me. I can go up on my computer and Google. And that's a whole other thing, Did you ever think you were going to say the word Google in your lifetime? I've asked people that. Did you ever think you would actually say the word Google?
I know.
And you're not saying it to an infant in a bassinet?
But it's also just to connect to the film, and I don't mean to do it this way, but it does, because the incident that happened to Ricky was when he was young.
Yes.
And that left a lifelong, indelible impression on him, and it affected who he became as a man.
Yes.
And when he became a man, he had to deal with it. So all these kids, they're gonna have to deal with all these things. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they're so used to it, and it's so normal that it's not even an issue. But I don't know. I think it is an issue.
It's really amazing. And when you really think about it, now we're talking as if Dave isn't here, but the fact that the movie exists through his experience, he had to tell the story, and the fact that he's a middle school teacher and he's dealing with these issues regularly and sees it in the students. So when a lot of people, and I in my professional work on television, radio, I've interviewed a lot of people who have been through a lot of different things in their life. And sometimes when things happen, we sort of turn the other way, go away from the fire, pull the shades down, and sort of disappear. Where in many ways, Dave has gone towards it and confronted it and worked through it. And now through the film, through his teaching, in school, he's inspiring and empowering others and letting them know, whether it's a kid in the middle school class or anybody that's watching the film, whether they've gone through this or not, that you can get through things in life, that, you can rise and you can have a good life as a result of the understanding, appreciation of it all. So you've been through all of that at an early age, Dave, but yet you are continually paying it forward through this epic film and through your day-to-day in that classroom. Kudos to you, my friend.
Thank you. I talk to my kids a lot about that. It's the life is a fire. Life is the fire, but it's the only game in town, and I avoided it for a long time. It's not as if I've been, in the arena for 6 years. I've been sitting on the sidelines a lot. And this movie, I think, propelled me to go, I'm not sitting on the sidelines anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it was burning and yearning in you to do it.
God wants me here in the classroom, and he asked me what's next, whatever God wants me to do. So
that's what
this is the path, and it's a good path, and life is good, and it's hard. And I tell my kids, just don't give up, don't give in to resistance. And oftentimes we resist the thing that is the best for us. That Marianne Williamson quote about the things that we fear the most is our light, right? And just going through it, being in the arena, and it's messy, it's hard, it's messy. You learn things about yourself that you might not like, but it's better than closing the blinds and
and it isn't always easy to be open and vulnerable and to share it with the world too. Not a lot of people can open up and say, this is what happened to me in my life, and we're going to share it through the art form of cinema. Not everybody, was there a trigger point when it just rose to the surface? It was so deep for you. You're like, I just have to do it because it's boiling within me, Dave.
Like I said in the beginning, it was, those two kids, those two girls in my class, these two 12-year-old girls in my 7th grade class, 2 years in a row, they sat at the same table. It was one girl one year, next year, same table, different girl. And I believe in these coincidences. You'll see in the beginning of the film, it's all these coincidences. And this film is not mine. You know what I mean? And my ego can take all the credit and stuff. This film came through me. The writing, it came through me.
You were a conduit. Yeah.
We're vessels, for this. And so, these two girls said, what are you doing here? And I, and then I thought, what am I doing here? I gotta go make this movie. And,
I
don't know what I would have done had I not. That beast would have been in me, and I probably would have just been yelling at my kids every day.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Taking
it
it
with
through
their
that.
fault.
Right. They wouldn't know. Exactly. So again, the reunionfilm.com is the place to go really to find out about access to the movie itself, right? And everything that goes along with it.
Yeah, we've had a website now for 2 or 3 years. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Jay Cruz has done, I mean, there's so many people to thank. Our producer, Susan Gorell, our editor, Jonathan Shaw,
Yes.
our lawyer, Diane, Beatrice, our PR person, Matthew Martinez, our social media guy. I mean, there's over 100 people worked on this, very small film and continue to work on it. It's been a passion project for a lot of people. So yeah, the website's got everything. It's got all of our press materials. It's got our trailer. It's got information, links to tickets for the Lemley. Please come if you're in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Please come. We want to pack the house. Like, we want the vibe to be just tingling. We just want people to feel we want people to just go out and just feel like, oh my God, I've been inside for 2 years and now I'm in this church of a theater with people and I'm feeling so good. And then I want people to leave and talk about the issues of the movie. It's going to be 1 a.m. in LA and people are just going to be like, oh my God, life is back. And cinema is back. And we're not on, we're not watching this on Netflix in my apartment. We're out in the world. That's what I want. And fly out to Los Angeles if you're not. And, just. Oh,
he's handing out those postcards. Well, who also wanted to send his best? Mr. George Burns is with us this evening.
Oh.
With his cigar. He always shows up on the Jim Masters Show live towards the latter part. And he said, you guys all knocked it out of the park. And I think he said he remembers having a knish and a tuna melt years ago with Austin Pendleton. I don't know if that's true or not, in a New York diner.
Is that true, Austin?
I'm not sure I remember that, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
That doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Austin, I think that would be a great role for you to play George Burns.
Knish in a diner in New York with Austin and George. That's it. Well, I'm sure you guys will be working together again, on other projects. And this is what we do at the Jim Masters Show Live. We do entertainment, we have poignant conversations. We bring in the viewers who've been commenting throughout as well, which has been really spectacular. Maureen in Arizona says, Dave, you are igniting such a fire in the hearts of those students. They are sure to rise to success. She's in Arizona. Jane, watching in Sweden, says, thanks for being here tonight. Good luck with future movie projects. Thanks, Jim. You are very welcome. Claps from Merlin in Ontario, Canada, to all of you. This has been an incredibly amazing conversation. You are all fabulous, and I'm happy that you all stayed in touch. And yes, think before you speak. Can't take back words. That's Kathleen in New York City. She's right, talking about that Twitter conversation as well. Sherry Larson in the middle of the country in Kansas says, thank you all for being here tonight and sharing your film teasers with us. Can't wait to see your film. It looks and sounds intriguing. Best wishes for success with it. And Kathleen in New York City, thank you all for being here with us. Best of luck to all of you and all you do. Great stuff coming in from everybody. You guys are the best. You're all welcome back. As I say on the Jim Masters Show Live, we keep the porch light on for everybody. This is Mr. Pendleton's second visit with us, and hopefully will not be the last. And hope you guys enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you, and the show met whatever expectations that you had.
Totally.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jim, for having us on. Thank you guys for coming on. Austin, thank you so much for coming on. And Jim, what a great show you have. I love all the backgrounds.
Yeah.
You would be very surprised that I'm doing all of this as I'm talking to you.
I wondered about that.
The whole thing.
Good job,
I'm executive producing and hosting. It's thank God I worked in television and everything and work in it to know what the heck to do. But it gets tricky sometimes. Yeah, it gets tricky, but it's a lot of fun. And bringing people together is truly what it's all about.
It's
so,
a great show, Jim.
Yeah, spread the word for me. I would love it. Our YouTube channel is Jim Masters TV. Subscribe, tell everybody. We have, like I said, over 650 episodes we have done, including one with Austin. They're all there with everybody. And, if you like Marion Ross from Happy Days, she was with us, Mrs. C. I mean, everybody. You guys are the best. You be well, continued success, and thanks for all the time. We said we would do an hour, but It was an hour and 25 minutes. It didn't seem like it, did it?
No.
Everybody says that. It never seems like that.
Bye. Let's do 5 more.
It just flew by. Now I say to all guests, go stretch those legs.
Jim, you were
Jim.
awesome. It was wonderful being here. Great show. Great questions. Great interaction. It was really awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. My father has always said, whenever anybody says something kind and nice to you, tell them to please put it in writing and address it management. My Irish dad from New York City. You guys are the best. Take care again. Be well. And let's stay in touch. Okay. Hopefully we will be all together at some point. Break bread. That would be wonderful.
Totally.
Bye, Princess Leia.
That's it. Take care, gang.
Bye, Austin.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye, thank you.
See you guys later.
Yeah.
And thank you, Andrea. And Austin, so nice to see you again, my friend. A real pleasure. You are a class act and a legend. Absolutely. We'll see you again soon.
Without a doubt.
And
Absolutely.
Thank you, Austin. I'll give you a call.
Oh, great, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah.
you have a good night, Austin.
You see it.
And Dave, thank you very much. It was a real pleasure.
This is amazing. We'll blast this out on our socials immediately, and I'll just keep promoting you. You do a great job, man.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Newfound friendship all together here, and this was really a cool night. You be well, and you take care, okay?
You too. Thank you so much. I'll tune into your show. It was fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, Jim.
All the best.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
And there you have the actor and filmmaker who really, it's based on his life. It's really extraordinary. It is the reunion. You know what was really cool about this episode? It was like a reunion for many of the cast and co-creators of this epic film. We're talking about the reunion. And if you saw the trailer, you know what I'm talking about. It just sort of draws you right in and makes you think about life in a certain way. And great conversation. I mean, really touched upon some absolutely, deep dive stuff. A lot of times when you have shows like this, or not shows like this, conversations like this, they're an interview and it's question, answer. Tell us about the book. Tell us about the CD. Tell us about the movie. Tell us about this, that, and the other. And then it's out, done. We like to do that. We like to do a deeper dive, with the entertainment, the levity, but also really have an opportunity to learn about each other and learn about the guests and about all of you who are watching. Let's take a look at some of the comments. If this is your first time here, thank you very much for joining us. A real pleasure having you here. We'll take a look at some of the great comments. I do want to let you know that coming up tomorrow, Liam Ford is here. Yes, from New York City. Liam Ford is here. Oh, yes. Hey, we've got a special guest there. Look, that's cool. Who do we have there? I saw that face and I said, we can't not have him on.
Hello.
Hello. Who, Andrea, who do we have there?
This is my son. This is Archer Modica.
Welcome to the show. It's
How
nice
did this happen? Did he do something?
He was there looking at it. He's probably figuring it out. And I said, oh, we have to put him on so the world can see him. Oh, he's a character, huh?
He's in the movie.
He's in the movie too.
Scene, it's him and my wife. He's wearing the karate suit. Can you stop? You're going to make everybody busy. Can you stop?
Never.
It's like being on a cruise ship, right? But he's a bundle of energy and he loves it, huh? Oh, he's in the movie, so we have to show him.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Jim, honestly, you were amazing. Your show was great. Oh no, this is the other one. They're all going to come here. Who bites his nail? Shh, you're not meant to say that. No, your show is amazing. You were amazing. This was the best out of everything that we've done. This was the most memorable to be on. So thank you so much. It was awesome. And the questions to make us think, to make us relive, to make us understand ourselves and the project a bit more and share it. It was really great.
I appreciate that.
Really fantastic.
I appreciate that. And that's how, I like to do it. So you guys are welcome back anytime collectively or, individually. We'll all stay in touch and, I appreciate it. And let's just continue to spread the lovity, as we say. The Jim Master Show lovity is what it's all about. And that's what we call lovity right there. That's a lot of lovity, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is lovity on the Jim Master Show live right there. That's cool.
Well, have a wonderful night. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Say
We'll see you
bye,
guys
Arthur.
again. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. That was cute, huh? That's what we call an encore. That's the bonus footage on the Jim Master Show live, which we often end up have happen. And Sherry says, he is adorable. Yes, he is. Absolutely. That was a surprise. He didn't know he was going to be on, well, I was going to say television. To me, this is still like television, just on the internet, because we do it, like a TV show. Sherry says, those wonderful words. Thank you all for spending time with us. Come back soon, Jen Barry. And Merlin in Canada says, hi, young man. And Maureen says, what a handsome little lovety. Absolutely. Thank you. And Kathleen says, great show, Jim. Thank you very much, Kathleen in New York City. And oh, that's great. What a great comment. You thought you were watching the movie because you were drawn into the conversation we were having. So you felt like you were watching the movie. Wow. That's amazing. That's perfect. So now when you do see the movie, it's just going to take you next level, Merlin there in Ontario. Wow. Maureen says, the trailer sucked me right in. Take my money. Absolutely. Sign you up. Dave will get you a postcard. Lisa Rodrigo watching. She said, loved this. Thank you, Lisa. Merlin says, Jim is very good at multitasking. Ain't that the truth? Jen does say peace and love to Ukraine and Ukrainian people. Absolutely. We've mentioned that oftentimes, often on our show, sending lots of love to Ukraine. Absolutely. Jane in Sweden says, thanks for being here tonight. Good luck with the future movie and projects. And thanks, Jim. My pleasure as well. And to all of you. So I wanted to let you know, I was starting to say that tomorrow, Liam Ford, wonderful singer, songwriter, and actor, live from New York City. Liam is going to be here on the Jim Master Show live. That is tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Then from Florida, singer, songwriter, and happy music guitarist Amber Crowley is going to be here on the Jim Master Show live. She has a real positive message. She's going to perform live for us as well on Saturday in the evening. The wonderful 3-part harmony Celtic singing group, the ladies of Avon Fair, are going to be with us. That's going to be amazing. We're looking forward to that. And that's Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Then on Sunday, we have wonderful illustrator and children's book author Ashley Belote. She's going to be here for a special Sunday afternoon episode of the Jim Master Show live, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And then on Monday, actor Sean Kanan. He was in Cobra Kai and The Karate Kid 3, On the Young and the Restless, The Bold and the Beautiful, General Hospital, Studio City, which he created, and so much more. This is Sean Kanan's third visit to the Jim Master Show live. That's right. He wanted to come back on, and I'm excited about that. So he is going to be here on Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and then coming soon from Saturday Night Live and the Saturday Night Live band, we have the Beehive Queen, acclaimed singer-songwriter Christine Ullman is going to be with us on the Jim Masters Show live as well. Coming up this month, just in a couple of weeks, my buddy Dwight Turner is returning to the Jim Masters Show live. He's in some new movies and a television special and so much more. He's going to be with us as well. Cool stuff, gang. Don't forget to share the lovity, help us grow, tell everybody about our series, the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series, right here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And also, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button. I know we talk about that. It's so important. That button looks like this. It's right there on our YouTube channel. Click that and you are part of the lovely family here on the Jim Master Show Live. There's no cost for that. That is, lets us know that you enjoy our series. It helps us grow big time. So click that. And don't forget to also give this episode a thumbs up like. There's a little icon there on the YouTube channel. looks like a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up, like, and also leave a comment on the YouTube channel for us as well. We would love that. That really does help us big time. Love it. And good stuff. Sean Kanan, yes, on Monday. This is his third visit. He's a big fan of our show, and we love it. Sherry Larson says, Jim, this was fantastic. Was so good we forgot to post much. I know you guys were so engaged with our conversation with everybody that usually you guys would be posting away, but that's really cool. That's great. I love it. That's really good. You are very, very welcome. The pleasure is always mine, gang, to present these shows for all of you, our entertainment lifestyle talk show series, kind of old school television show style with the modern vibe of today. May you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Sending those tight, lovely hugs out to everybody from Maureen in Arizona. And Kathleen says, have a great night. Good night, all. You as well. So great guests coming up. This was a blast. Again, thereunionfilm.com is the website to check out more about the reunion. And what was really cool was tonight was like a reunion for the cast and producers. And of course, Austin Pendleton being on our show. This was his second visit. If you didn't see the episode where he was the guest of the evening, we did it about a year ago. And we talked about his illustrious career and then some. And I think we went for like 2 hours easy of just pure good conversation. Really, really good stuff. So more comments coming in here, and then we're going to wrap things up. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Actually, that's 3,040, Merlin. I know. Isn't that cool? It's 3,040. Yeah, there was like 30 people subscribed to our channel yesterday when we had Lady Sandra on, which was an epic conversation and music. Hugs to you all from Jane watching in Sweden. And good night to you, Jane, in Sweden as well. And you guys are fantastic. Comments coming in here from everybody. She says hugs to everybody and good stuff. All right, gang. And hearts coming in from Pennsylvania from Jen Barry in Allentown, the mountains of Allentown, Pennsylvania. We love you all. Thanks for being with us. This is your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, right here on the Jim Masters Show Live. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. I know, growing. Tell everybody about our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. We welcome everybody to subscribe, keep spreading the word and sharing the links on your social media to all these episodes. I've got an early day. I've got 2 television shoots tomorrow up in Massachusetts, about an hour or so north, and it's going to be terrific. About 2 hours, I think, hour and a half maybe. 2 shoots tomorrow for the television show that I do on CBS, and then 2 on Friday. So I have 2 television shoots in 2 different locations tomorrow up in Massachusetts. Then we're going to be back here for our show live at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then we're going back up to Massachusetts for 2 more shoots on location. They're at restaurants. It's for our lifestyle travel series. So we're going to be sampling lots of good food. So we're back in Massachusetts again on Friday, keeping track with all this. And then I'm back Friday night with all of you here on the Jim Master Show Live. And there's a couple of radio shows I have to host in between. We had 4 of those today. I was on the air with 4 episodes of the news radio series that I host in New York. Busy times, and we love every single second of it. You guys are great. Also cute. See you all tomorrow. And a total lovity. You guys are fantastic, gang. We love you all. Coming to you live around the world here from the Jim Masters Show Live. We'll see you on the next one, okay? Thanks for being with us. Spread the word, and we'll see you again right here on the Jim Masters Show Live. And you want to join me in all the food TV shoots, huh? I know that. So you can sample. Well, you have to, when we're on those food shoots, you're going to have to dive into the food quick, my friend, because our crew is ravenous. And as soon as we're done shooting and we don't need to show the food anymore on camera, everybody dives into the food. And we get sent home with so many leftovers. It's amazing. You probably saw on my Facebook page, the pizza one we went to earlier where the owner gave me 5 different kinds of pizza to try, which was fantastic. Terry Ann's here. Thanks and big hugs, Jim, and everyone, to you as well, Terry Ann. Thank you very much. Again, we love you all, and thanks for watching us on the Jim Masters Show Live. All right. I think I'm going to have an ice cream cone right now. I can go for a nice big ice cream cone. We have some in the freezer, and I'm going to have that. I am making an executive decision. You want the French toast you saw that we had last weekend in those photos from the TV shoot. That was a delicious French toast with a banana sauce on it. Ooh, so good. All right, gang, we're going to see you soon. We always have long goodbyes, so we don't say goodbye. We say see you later, slancha, ciao, auf Wiedersehen, cheers, and all the rest. Be well. Thanks for being with us. Be good to one another. Love one another. I'm your host, Jim Masters, and thanks for joining us on the Jim Masters Show Live. We'll see you again on the next one. Take care. Cheers.